Howdy folks, Doc here with Last Best Tool. Well, I finally got them. The Snap On LN47ACF. They're new, kind of a triple slip joint needle nose pliers. And these are amazing. I have been wanting a triple slip joint plier in the needle nose format for quite a while. In fact, I've asked Snap On about it. I've mentioned that in some of my earlier videos. This is not what I was expecting. However, first of all, I don't think it's a needle nose plier, and second, this thing is massive. So, like, this is the standard Snap On. This is the 47CF. This is a classic Snap On size slip joint plier. I mean, it was earth-shattering when Snap On went to a triple joint on their standard slip joint plier. But look at this. This thing is huge. In fact, compare it. Here is the massive this is the 49 ACF. This is their gigantic plier, and I've got a pretty good reach on my hand. This is what I'm working with here. So if I put this on, I've got about 9.5 inches from tip to tail there on my spread on my fingers, and so I can grab some pretty large stuff. And when I do, I can appreciate it. This wouldn't work well in a small hand. This thing, look at this though. That is huge. It is a huge plier from tip to tail on this guy here. When we throw the tape measure on it, we're over 9.5 inches. That's a needle nose plier. I mean, this used to be one of my favorites. It still is one of my favorites. This Klein here. This particular one, what is the number on that guy? This is the J203-8N. This is just, it's a big pair of needle nose pliers. And I really like the finish work at the tip, but this is pretty massive here. Compare that to, kind of one of the classic Snap-ons. This is their Talon grip. This thing already felt pretty big with its, enhanced jaw activity up there. But you can see that the Klein is just super beefy. And then throw this thing on and look at it. Now this projectile-like end here tapers pretty quick, but we've got a pretty big end on this thing. Compare that to the Snap-On, the smaller, more traditional one, and you can see there's almost twice the real estate. So this is a big plier, and because of that triple slip joint, it has a few other tricks up its sleeve. So first of all, it does not lose out in the smallest setting on any of the precision. I can go up to say a wire like this. There's a little braided wire, and I can grab individual strands and easily move them. Move them around. Not a big deal. So it does tend to hold some of the needle nose characteristics. But then, if you look, it's just got all of these jaw options all the way down to this monster grabbing ability. Now, at first I took a bolt here, no problem. Actually, this is too small. I can actually wiggle this in here with the handles touching. We need to go up to something this size. This is pretty big in order to grab it, and in fact, it grabs it beautifully. I'm going to have to use another pair of pliers here to hold this. Oh, by the way, here's a little backstory. Where did I get these? Craigslist. Believe it or not, a guy in town was retiring, and he had this set of pliers he wanted to sell. I didn't need this. I didn't need it when I got the one up in Alaska. So now I've got two. I went from 0 to 2 pretty fast. And this is one of those pliers I said I would never get again. I even made a video about Snap-On pliers or Snap-On tools I did not want or didn't buy again. Well, here I am again. And then this one was on my list. This is actually the 87 ACF, and if you look at it, it's kind of the update to this one here. Here's the 87 CF. Got this off the truck years ago, and then here's the previous one. If we go way back, here's the 87 BCP, a little bit different. But anyway, I think this is a better design, and I'm excited about using it compared to this old one. So it wasn't, you know, I wanted to help the guy out too. He's retiring. He had a lot of tools that were almost new. In fact, this has to be new, but I don't know what transpired, but I went after it. Plus I got a set of wrenches from him too, which I'm pretty excited about. But anyway, back to this guy. So when I grab this, I mean, this is a giant bolt, and we're talking supposedly a needle nose format. Seriously? No, this is a, if I compare this, we'll grab it to compare it to this. Actually, I want to compare it maybe to this one. This might be a little closer. If I look at the positioning of the pivot here, and then the positioning of those aggressive jaws, they're actually very close. So even though this has this needle nose end on it, you could also think of it as nothing but another set of slip joint pliers, simply because of the aggressiveness right down here. This does not change the work environment at all unless it's a clearance issue. So looking at this, these are very similar. Right over the top, you could almost think of it as a pair of classic slip joint pliers, really beefy ones too, because this is already a pretty serious tool. But throw onto that this needle nose extension. That's what's going on here. So if we take a look at this all the way out, not only does it grab, my bolt go, not only does it grab, you know, hex shaped objects beautifully, it also can grab round objects. So if I go back here to this, you can see, you know, it's really digging into a round fastener. No problem there. Put the brand out. So that's pretty amazing. Is this a good cutter? Down here, you notice there is a cutter. When I go out to a piece of stranded wire like this and try to cut it, whoops, get it in the spot there. Didn't do a really good job there. Maybe I can strip it out. Try this again. Watch what happens. If I get that into the, oops, get the focus there, into the cutting area, it doesn't really cut that very well. But if I go to a, where's my other wire? There it is. Use a solid core like this guy here, I can snip it all day long. So for a lot of other things, I haven't tried it with small bolts and nails yet. I just have trouble with a slip joint because, you know, using it for that kind of thing. But that might work quite well. So it's got this huge rounded area for giant size fasteners. And then in this position, if you take a look at it, look at the parallel grabbing. That is pretty incredible. So I can, this is like 5/8 thick. I can grab this and cinch down. I'm not hanging on to it. Look at that. It is grabbing onto this piece of oak, just amazingly strong. So what is that what you want a needle nose for? No, but then I started out saying I'm not sure this is needle nose. I think it's a new type of plier, which then of course begs the question, if it's a new type of plier, does it unseat my plier of the decade, which is the Knipex Twin Grip? Now this one here does have some limitations. There's no wire cutting on this. It does have screw extraction right up at the front. This does not yet. But this thing does an awful lot of things extremely well. I'm gonna revisit it after I've had more time with it. But I'm shocked at what this thing is. It is a new class of pliers. Similar, I mean, this is a take on the traditional slip joint, but using the Cobra head. This is an entire new option. Giant needle nose. I mean, it just dwarfs these giant Kleins when you look at that. I mean, it is just such a beefy, big plier. not a lot of people own this one, just simply because it's huge, yet this fits right in. It's almost like a new line of these super tools, and I've loved this thing. I mean, I really like it. It just is so aggressive, so beefy. It just is just an amazing tool, but it's big. Now going towards something like this, the more I play with it, especially with a larger hand, that might be the ticket there. The more I play with it, the more I realize this is really a nice design. I'm glad they didn't try to make it small. I'm glad, maybe they will, I don't know, make another one, but I'm glad that they actually went this direction so I could try it out. So I could actually play with something in this form. Because I think it's going to open up new plier space. I've got the precision of those incredible tips. Maybe that's the problem. We've been building big stuff, but we lose some of the precision because the manufacturing and engineering didn't include that, because it wasn't designed for precision tasks. It was designed for really gross motor skill tasks. But if you do a giant set of precision, I mean, wow, we're in a whole new space here, and Snap-on nailed it. I do see a little bit of room for improvement. There are a couple of things I notice, but overall, I'm impressed. I am really impressed. And there's a good chance, I think I ordered a pair before I went to Alaska. I haven't got a hold of the Snap-on dealer yet. He didn't answer today, but I might end up with a couple of pairs of these, which will be fine. Anyway, so that's my Snap-on experience right away with this LN47ACF. And I am thrilled with it so far. Is it the plier of the century? I don't know. Coming up with that. Doc out.